Alright, power scalers and Gumball goblins, let's do this. If there's one thing Elmore does better than any other animated town, it's packing a ridiculous amount of power into characters who would absolutely get folded by a light breeze in real life. And today, we're ranking that chaos cleanly. We're going from paper cuts to planet-cracking tantrums, from oops I popped to oops I tore a hole in reality. 7 tiers. Clear logic. No fluff, except Richard's fur. And yes, we're going all the way to 100% power, where the gloves come off and the Kamehamehas start flying. If that sounds fun, smash like so hard Larry hears it at every job simultaneously. And drop a comment telling me who you think would solo Elmore before I reveal my number 1. We start at 1% power, a tier I lovingly call walking appetizers.
Sliced and diced and lowered gently into the boiling oil. Happy birthday, dear Idaho!
Idaho, my crispy little spud. It's not personal. You're literally the size of a baseball and the durability of a fry at the bottom of the bag.
Menu today, poulet à la deep fried, accompanied by the fries of the French. Delicious.
What are the fries of the French?
Are you a potato?
As sure as the world is flat. Each chip is
In The Bumpkin, he's as tech-savvy as your dad trying to Chromecast a PowerPoint, and a night at the Watersons wipes him out like it's day 3 at Coachella. Idaho is sweet, but if we're talking strength, he's the guy who needs a helmet for a pillow fight. He exists to be kicked, sliced, salted, and served, and the show knows it. Sorry, bud. You're 1% with a side of ketchup. But then there's Anton, the bread who refuses to stay toast. On the surface, he's just bread.
The birds are going.
what? You want my sandwich? Here, you can have it. Please let me go!
In the recipe, he dies, returns, dies, returns, dies, returns, and not as a ghost. He just keeps coming back via toaster like he's respawning on a 5-second cooldown. And when Gumball and Darwin start cloning him, boom, instant bread army. Is that terrifying or delicious? Both. The catch? Anton's clones are dumber than a wet crouton, and water is basically his Thanos. So even with immortality and exponential numbers, he's still stuck at 1%. Immortal doesn't automatically equal strong. Ask any video game barrel with infinite respawns. Round out the bottom tier with Banana Joe. Tiny, chaotic, occasionally unhinged. He'll bark at dudes twice his size, charge at them with cartoon fury, and then, classic Banana Joe, hurt himself.
Turn around and face the can of butt whipping that I'm gonna open on you! Turn around!
But between Idaho, Anton, and Banana Joe, I'm taking Joe in a street fight. The man would slip on his own peel, bounce off the wall, and accidentally win. Still 1% power, but he at least swings.
Hey, do you mind if I put a poster in your window? It's for my mom. She's missing.
Oh, gosh. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Let's bump to 5%, the surprisingly decent if you squint tier. First up, Terry. She's paper. We all know the weaknesses. Water, ripping, folds in the wrong places.
His is a pain in the neck who makes my job a nightmare.
If you have a pain in the neck, you should really consult a medical professional because your vertebrae may have slipped out of alignment, which could be a sign of something more serious.
Have a nice day.
But paper also has perks. She can slip under doors, fold into shapes, and weaponize the single most devastating attack known to mankind, a paper cut. In The Virus, she actually yanks Gumball around, which either means Terry's low-key strong or Gumball's noodle arms are worse than we thought. Probably both. That said, she's nervous, constantly anxious, and fragile.
Feel any better?
Not at all.
Well, at least it hasn't upset anyone.
Hey guys, have you seen my parents? They were coming in today to see Miss Simeon.
No.
Never mind.
If she were a video game character, she'd be S-tier utility with D-tier tanking. Respect, but 5% is fair. Next, Mr. Small. Lovely soul, peaceful aura, and zero interest in combat. He's literally the school counselor, so he's not trying to fight you. He's trying to heal your inner child while the outer child gets bodied. He teaches mindfulness in a town where the weather gets offended and punches back. He gets folded, sometimes literally, and he's okay with it because violence isn't the answer. Power scaling respects the pacifist, but doesn't reward him. 5%. And then there's Larry. Physically, he's tired, stretched thin, always on the verge of crumbling. But Larry's power is societal. In The Pizza, he quits, and Elmore collapses into Mad Max in under 24 hours.
I quit.
That's influence, that's leverage. He's the fragile keystone of the economy. Does he win a fistfight? Number? Does he hold the city together with minimum wage and duct tape? Absolutely. Not strong in muscle, strong in impact. Still 5% because we're measuring strength, not importance, but don't pretend he's powerless.
Are you Lazy Larry?
No lazy Larry's here. No.
Well, Lazy Larry, please come to the checkout. Lazy Larry.
No one calls me that anymore. I stopped being Lazy Larry years ago.
At 10%, the power starts to look like, well, power. Leslie first. Tall, delicate flower boy who cares more about his petals than your punches. But appearances deceive. In The Petals, his beauty literally affects his health. And yet he can still hold his own when challenged.
Reading. Got it! You need more sun.
He's a dancer, agile, precise, unpredictable. You're not brute forcing Leslie. You're trying to catch a leaf in a hurricane. Fragile, sure, but not weak.
And you're sure this is a plant thing?
Of course, we get watered every day.
But does the pressure have to be so high?
Probably.
Dude, one at a time!
Then Tobias. Money, ego, and a wild imagination.
Hi, I'm Tobias Wilson, and a lot of people ask me, can you teach me to be as cool as you?
And I say no, you'll never be as cool as me.
But I can teach you to be cooler than you. And just maybe, you'll be a hit with the ladies like me. What up, sunshine?
On paper, no pun, money doesn't enhance biceps. But in Elmore, imagination sometimes does. In episodes like The Points and The One, he powers up in his mind and drags everyone into the bit so hard it becomes real enough to cause trouble. Add some real-world tenacity, competing for Penny, refusing to back down, and Tobias gets credit. He's not strong. He's, I can be annoying enough that it works, strong. Which, honestly, is a superpower.
So, did you remember the game?
Sorry, dudes. I'll totally bring it in tomorrow. I am so sorry. I'll bring it in tomorrow. I'm sorry. Sorry. Tomorrow.
But the real sleeper at 10%? Molly. Yes, she's a dinosaur. No, that's not why she's strong. Her true power is being boring. In The Boring, her non-stop yapping stalls time itself. That is an insane, godlike ability wrapped in the world's most monotonous narrator. She doesn't even know she can do it. She's an accidental time wizard. The limitation is huge. She can't trigger it on purpose, but as raw potential, she beats Tobias. The dino body is a red herring. Her voice is the weapon. Time to step up to 25%, where raw strength meets real world-level influence. Alan, the world's nicest balloon, should be easy to pop. And he is. Physically, he's a 1-second KO. But emotionally, cosmically, in The Faith, Alan's optimism holds Elmore's morale together. When he loses faith, reality frays. When he believes again, things stabilize. He's basically a pastel balloon version of morale gravity. That's huge. But because one tack ends his career, 25% is the ceiling. He's Schrodinger's powerhouse. Omnipresent strength, single-point failure.
My new vision.
A manifesto on how to forcibly seize power and eradicate sadness across the globe.
Should've let us leave the room first.
William, meanwhile, has tangible power. The floating eyeball with wings influences the world without hands, without a voice anyone understands, and without social support. In The Voice, he goes full psychic meltdown and wrecks the school to be noticed. Telekinesis, psychic projection, object assembly, he's a construction set with spite. He's still just an eyeball, so durability is a massive issue, but he's way more dangerous than he looks. William's the kid you ignore until the lockers are levitating. Let's climb to 50%, where the hits really start to land. Tina Rex is the poster child for what if the bully was actually a dinosaur? Her bite force alone is nightmare fuel. Even scaled down to a juvenile T-Rex equivalent, she's still crunching metal, snapping lockers, and terrifying freshmen. Her weakness? We don't live in prehistory.
Trick or treat. That means give me a candy.
You know, it'd be fun being a T-Rex.
You take one, I'll take Rex.
Dude, it's way more complicated than it looks.
Cars, cranes, and Nicole exist. She's a tank in a world full of anti-tank weapons, and she's emotionally not always as ruthless as she seems. Still, physically, she's mid-high tier. You don't square up with Tina unless you've got a plan, plot armor, or both.
Come on, Tina. You have to be more flexible than that if you want to join the team.
Bober takes Tina's raw power and wraps it in tech. He's a walking supercomputer with a transformation sequence that turns him into a city-level threat. Lasers, rockets, precision, and the cold logic of a machine. Unless he overheats, glitches, or gets reasoned with like a moody printer.
What does that do?
Anything you request, Gumball.
Okay, do my homework.
Finding restaurants in your local area.
Dude, you gotta pronounce your words clearly. Bobbert, tell me how pretty I look today.
In Japan, there are more pets than there are children.
Is it my grammar?
The inconsistency is his kryptonite. In base form, Tina slaps him around for lunch. In mech form, he's devastating. Averaged out, 50% feels right. Massive spikes, massive dips. Masami rounds out this tier like a storm cloud at a kite festival. She's Elmore's weather princess, and when her emotions flare, so does the climate. In The Storm, jealousy turns her into a literal thunderstorm, zapping students, tornado-spinning halls, rewriting looks. If she learned to control that, we're talking floods on command, lightning sniping, windstorms with precision. The catch is exactly that. Control. She's tethered to her feelings. On a calm day, she's a mild breeze. On a bad day, she's a Category 5. Dangerous, but volatile. Now we hit the 69% tier. Nice, and yes, only the elite hang out here. These aren't just strong characters, these are walking catastrophes. Richard Watterson first, because you didn't see that coming, did you? He's lazy, he's soft, he's absurdly destructive when employed. In The Job, reality itself bends because the universe can't cope with Richard having a schedule. Photos warp, streets shift, people mutate, the world glitches like a corrupted save file. He's accidental entropy in a dad bod. He's not punch you through a wall strong. He's oops, I erased the wall from the timeline strong. The problem? He doesn't control it. He's chaos on a treadmill. Terrifying potential, zero mastery. Aeneas, on the other hand, is surgical. At 4 years old. In The Rival, she's setting traps, framing people, manipulating adults, and weaponizing innocence like it's a black ops skill tree.
We need to get rid of this Zack permanently.
One step ahead of you. I knew this day would come.
By changing his name to Gumball at the town hall.
Yeah, that's what I...
Physically, she's tossed buses and manhandled people twice her size because logic bows to Aeneas. Intellectually, she's already lapping Elmore. If power is ability times intent, Aeneas has the ability and the chilling intent. She just lacks scale due to age. Give her time and a lab, and she becomes Elmore's final boss.
We need to show some authority and tell these people to go. We learned a lesson today. Freedom is a beautiful thing, but too much of it is... Hold on a second. And stop poking people!
For now, she's a 69% prodigy with growth potential that's honestly scary. Darwin sits here too, and that's gonna ruffle some fins. On his own, Darwin is kinder, softer, and more empathetic than anyone at this level. But kindness isn't weakness. He's tanked blows, busted through walls, shredded reality by shrinking too high, and, most importantly, evolved into a land-walking, air-breathing partner out of pure love for Gumball. His best form is with Gumball, no question, but even solo, he's no joke. He's just not gonna take over Elmore. Not because he can't, but because he won't. That moral limiter keeps him off the top tier. You know who doesn't have that limiter? Gumball. Welcome to 100% Power, the you do not want smoke tier. Gumball is chaotic, prideful, unhinged, and endlessly adaptive. When he's locked in, he's Super Saiyan parody turned real threat. Speed, power, burst, the whole package. He doesn't mind being reckless if it gets him the W. He outpaces Darwin because he'll go farther, push harder, make the dumb move that turns out to be the right one because reality bends to his stubbornness. He's a protagonist with main character momentum, but as strong as he is, he's not the ceiling. There are two who live there rent-free, Nicole Watterson and Yuki Yoshida. The rivalry that launched an anime arc. Nicole is the family's nuclear option. She has outrun sound, stared people down so hard they fold like origami, tossed giants, snapped chains, and solved problems with a fist and a plan in the same breath. She's strength with discipline, anger tempered by responsibility. She doesn't just hit hard, she hits right. She's the character you call when a dinosaur eats your mailbox and your car learns to punch back. Then there's Yuki, Masami's mother, Nicole's childhood friend and rival, and a martial arts monster who trained for years with one goal: rematch. In The Fury, it all erupts. Nicole tries to walk away to keep life stable. Yuki chases her through her job and home life, forcing the fight. When the gloves come off, the gym melts. It's anime, energy blasts, floorboards exploding. Straight up homage to Dragon Ball Beam struggles. They're equals for most of it. Skill for skill, strike for strike. And at the end of that beautiful, destructive dance, Nicole stands tall. She is the champ. The crown is hers. A quick pit stop because I promised you I'd get into villain territory. Rob. He's not the strongest in terms of raw output, but he's the most dangerous cockroach in Elmore.
I'm hereby hijacking this broadcast. People of the world, you don't need that false hero. Please enjoy this amazing world without Gumball.
He went from Forgotten Extra to Chaos Architect. In The Disaster, with the universal remote in his hand, he's near omnipotent. Pause, rewind, fast forward, edit reality like it's a YouTube timeline. That single tool turned him into a god. Without it, he's crafty, relentless, and always 2 steps from something catastrophic. With it, he's 100% by accessory. That's important because in Elmore, artifacts and emotions can multiply your power overnight. So where does that leave our grand ranking logic? At the bottom, physical fragility rules. Idaho, Anton, Banana Joe are either too small, too edible, or too self-sabotaging to hang in a fight. At 5%, we reward versatility and societal power. Terry's utility, Mr. Small's pacifism, Larry's load-bearing life. At 10%, potential and gimmicks push characters forward, Leslie's agility, Tobias's imaginative force of will, Molly's accidental time stop. At 25%, intangible influence and psychic oomph change the landscape. Alan stabilizes hope, William destabilizes furniture. At 50%, brute force and tech bring real threat. Tina's bite, Bo-Bear's mech, Masami storms. At 69%, the elites arrive. Richard's reality warped by employment, Aeneas's terrifying mind, Darwin's explosive but compassionate power. And at 100%, the apex predators, Gumball's protagonist chaos, Yuki's disciplined rage, and Nicole's unstoppable mom energy that ends fights and saves days. Now, the fun part, because I know someone's already typing, actually, Boebert would solo because lasers. Counterpoint, not if Nicole's already in your face and the laser never fires. But Darwin plus Gumball as a duo, correct. As a duo, they're S+ tier. This list is about individuals, and individually, Nicole is the package deal. Strength, speed, endurance, experience, and a cold stare that deletes your confidence bar. Yuki is right there with her, but she lost the head-to-head. Power scaling has to honor the canon. Could anyone jump tiers with the right conditions? Absolutely. Rob with the remote is cracked. Molly if she weaponized boredom on purpose? Terrifying. Alan with emotional control training? Imagine a monk balloon bending reality with good vibes. Masami mastering her storms? The Midwest would file a class action lawsuit. Even Richard, get him in a stable job he loves, learn to harness the warp. He becomes Elmore's walking patch notes. The show plays this funny game where strength isn't just muscles, it's meaning. Hope, boredom, love, laziness, these aren't just quirks. In Elmore, they're power sources. If Gumball could drive a Tiger 2 through Elmore, he absolutely would, and he'd probably race it down the school hallway. Let's be honest, this list is also about personality. That's why Gumball clears Darwin. Darwin's morality keeps him from leveling the city. Gumball's stubbornness sometimes causes the problem and then solves it with a bigger problem. It's why Anais terrifies me more than Tina. Tina's raw force is obvious, but Anais's weapon is your assumptions. It's why Larry, a skinny man with 1,000 jobs, can make an entire town collapse by clocking out. Strength in Elmore is rarely just who punches harder. It's who changes the rules of the world when they walk into the room. And that's the mic drop advantage Nicole has over everyone. She doesn't change the rules, she dominates within them. Yuki trained to beat her. Masami blows up when jealous. Rob schemes around her family. Gumball tries to outsmart or out-chaos the situation. Nicole? She looks the threat in the eyes, flexes every stat on the sheet, and wins. Not every time, not effortlessly, but decisively when it counts. That's 100% power. That's mom tier myth. So here's your clean ladder, just to fuel your debate in the comments. 1% is Idaho, Anton, Banana Joe. 5% is Terry, Mr. Small, Larry. 10% is Leslie, Tobias, Molly. 25% is Alan and William, and the could be higher with Control Club. 50% is Tina, Bobert, Masami. 69% is Richard, Anais, Darwin. 100% is Gumball. And sitting on the throne above the chaos are the two martial arts monsters. Yuki is the runner-up, Nicole is the queen. If you disagree, good. Tell me who solos whom and why. If your argument is convincing, I'll pin it. Before you bounce, hit like if you enjoyed the ride, subscribe if you want more deep dive nonsense like this, we've got more Elmore lore on the way, and ring the bell so you don't miss when we power scale the most cursed background characters next. And answer me this in the comments, if you could give one Elmore character perfect control over their abilities, Molly's time stop, Masami's storms, Richard's reality warp, Alan's morale field, who would become the scariest? I'm leaning Richard. A gainfully employed reality warper is my sleep paralysis demon. And if you still think you could take Nicole in a fight, buddy, do your stretches, drink some water, and click subscribe. You'll need every advantage you can get.